Honoured guests from around the world, ladies and gentlemen, it's an enormous privilege to be able to stand here and welcome you to Defence Space 24. The Air and Space Power Association are absolutely delighted to be delivering the conference, and please use the team to your advantage. Any issues, then please come and see me or find somebody in the excellent team that you've already engaged with out the front there. And we'll make the conference a huge success. The next 2 days feature quite heavily in terms of integration and working with other people, and that includes those of you who are here and online. In case you haven't come across this yet, they should have provided you with a card that allows you to get into the online app, and that basically tells you or allows you to do everything you need to do to engage with the conference. Please do use it. There's a question and answer function on there, and your questions will be transmitted magically to the stage to the people who are looking after the various panels. And it's really, really important that you engage, because that's the nature of the conference, is to really promote that conversation. I think we need to do some health and safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to IET London Savoy Place. We have some housekeeping notices to enhance your experience of Savoy Place today. The building is fully non-smoking, including electronic cigarettes. Toilets are located out of the centre doors, down the marble staircase. Turn right for ladies and left for gentlemen. We are not expecting any fire alarms today. If you hear a constant alarm, the fire exits are to the front and rear, left and right, with the muster point being underneath Waterloo Bridge. And finally, please turn all mobile phones to off or to silent. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to be able to introduce you to the person who is going to steer us through the next 2 days. Many of you will know him very well. Professor Anu Ojha, who is a member of the Executive Committee of the UK Space Agency. His portfolio includes international and ESA engagement, public and parliamentary engagement, communications and education, and future workforce programs. Anu, for those of you who will recognise this, Anu is probably the most enthusiastic person that you are likely to meet. He knows an enormous stuff about space, and if you look through his bio, you'll see that he has a very long track record in all types of space capabilities. Anu is going to basically look after the conference for the next couple of days, make sure that we flow nicely. I can't think of anybody better to do that, and I will now invite Anu to the stage, and it's all yours.
Thanks very much, Mark, and good morning, everyone, to the 500 people we have here at the IET and the 500 or so we have joining us online. Real honour, both personally and professionally, to be hosting you for the next 2 days at Defence Space 24. I want to start, though, by taking a step back 6 decades to the dawn of the space age, the 4th of October 1957, because what we have collectively achieved since then, all that time ago, it is nothing short of remarkable. Now, on the civil space side, I think many of you will have heard me talking about sort of my personal description of what we mean by space stuff. You know, looking out there, astronomy, going out there, exploration, and looking back here, satellite applications. You know, when I consider the achievements and the discoveries we've made, we've not just fundamentally changed our understanding of the physics of the universe, our understanding of the evolution of the solar system, we have enabled collectively the global village to become a reality. You know, on the civ side, space is fundamental to the 21st century architecture for our societies. But we've also seen a parallel development accelerating on the defence side. You know, if I look at the development of global navigation satellite systems, of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance systems, of secure connectivity, we now live in a world where warfighting has been transformed, and we've got much greater security for our homelands. Space is no longer just part of our critical national infrastructure. It's no longer just part of our critical societal infrastructure. Space is part of our critical national security and resilience infrastructure. But we are now living in the most exciting but the most challenging times in space and much broader since, I would argue, the 1960s and the Cold War. And we all know the geopolitical forcing functions that are at play. We're in a century of change. We've got shifting centres of power. We've got an increasingly multipolar geopolitical landscape. And worryingly, of course, we are seeing increasingly authoritarian platforming in certain parts of the globe, challenging the way of life that we hold so precious to us. Similarly, on the space side, we are seeing transformational capabilities when it comes down to the reduction of the cost of launch, the advent and the implementation of mega constellation, the revolutions we're seeing in high-performance computing facilitating architectures. So it's clear that with the opportunity space, there is a challenge space. And I suppose going back to my first career in teaching, I have a homework task for you all, for us all together over the next 2 days. 4 years ago, the Landscape Review in the United Kingdom brought together, I think, and set the foundations for a much more interactive, cohesive, integrated approach between the civil space architecture and strategies and implementation and the defence space architectures, strategies and implementation. But I would say the foundations have been set. But what we now need to do when we consider the world that we are living in, when we consider the political changes, we consider the funding landscapes we're in, we now collectively need to work together on identifying the very best pathways to impact, and we need to crack on with it. And so I suppose my homework task for all of us, we've got an amazing array of panels. We've got a very distinguished lineup of speakers who are taking the time out from their incredibly busy schedules to be with us today. We're going to have great conversations between us during today, in the evening, in breakout sessions and tomorrow. But I would say that what we need to do from the civil side, from the defence side, from the industry side, and the other side that I represent, the academic side, is we really need to push forward to identify the way in which we can translate, that aspirational idea of dual use. What does it mean? Where can we get to? And how can we enable this maximally? Because doing so for us, now that the foundations have been laid, it's no longer a nice to have, but it is a must have. Hence the themes of this conference.